springtime in Texas, and I'm shed hunting. About an hour due east of San Antonio on the Texas Hidden Springs Ranch. This ranch belongs to me and my family. We bought it 12 years ago because we had a problem. My wife and I both grew up in hunting families, and being in Texas is mostly private land, and we had to pay people to lease their property. And as we paid them, somebody would come in right behind us and offer more money, and the landowner would say, "See ya." So we bought it so we had a place for our family to hunt. That was the primary reason. Of course, after we bought it, we had the next reason, and that was to grow the biggest deer that we possibly could. So to improve the deer's nutrition, we had to supplemental feed. We just didn't have enough feed out here available, just natural forage. Just this area doesn't have a lot of good deer feed. Maybe that's one reason why there's not a lot of really big deer, but we had to supplemental feed. Well, how do you pick what kind of supplemental feed you want to feed? You can open up magazines, you can look through there, and you can talk to a lot of different people. You're gonna get a lot of different answers. And so I did a lot of testing back years ago. I bought all these name brand feeds, and I'd pour them out. I'd let the deer tell me what they liked. And it turns out that the deer consistently, no matter where I put it out in the pasture, the deer were eating Record Rack. And they were coming and eating it all, where they would not even eat the other supplemental feed. So I made a decision at that time, okay, I costed out, and Record Rack was extremely competitive as far as pricing goes. They've been around forever, owned by Cargill, and Cargill is a gigantic company, and they have some of the best animal nutritionists there are in the world. And so I made the decision to go with Record Rack. And my deer got big, really big. In order for deer to get big, yeah, they have to have the right nutrition, but they have to have the right age. If you shoot them when they're little baby deer, they're never gonna get to be big deer. And so my neighbors wouldn't lay off of them. We put up a fence, and we let them get old here. We let them get nice and mature, and we feed them the best groceries that we can. And consequently, we're getting some really good deer.
Yes.
Looking back at things, I remember when Dr. Kroll and I were walking around, he asked me, he said, once you get this management program into place, who is going to help you thin the herd down, keep the numbers under control? And I said, you don't need to worry about that. I mean, my wife and I and the kids, we're pretty good at it, and we hammered them, but you know what? They multiplied to the point that we needed help. So we started selling some hunts, okay? We started selling a few hunts, and now it's got to the point that we're selling more and more hunts. Our carrying capacity, because we're supplemental feeding, is actually improved. We can carry more deer here than we did prior to supplemental feeding for doggone sure, and they're all healthier. And so with the increased numbers of animals, we have to harvest more animals, so we have opened it up to hunting.